How would you feel if I put my finger in your mouth like that, like he's about to do?
Man, you gotta slap the finger away. You gotta slap that finger away right away. You don't. But the first thing I learned from Saturday Night Main Event, maybe 40 years ago, was when the Mega Powers exploded and Macho Man pointed his finger at Hulk Hogan's face, and Hulk Hogan slapped it away and said, "Get your finger out my face, Macho Man." And that's what I learned that was a bad thing. This is a bad thing, Bill Goldberg. This is a very bad thing.
Bill Goldberg is what, 58 years old?
Yeah.
You slap that finger off, right? That finger might fall off.
Yeah, it might. Also, I want to give Bill Goldberg a strike. I want to take his keys away. I want to take Grandpa's keys away. If he's driving into the arena like this for no reason.
Mark, he was driving drunk, and you know it.
He was late to work, coming in reckless in the parking lot.
Even that, or that car he has has very, very poor handling and no tire tread.
He came in so late too. Like, he came in mad and late. I don't understand why he was mad. He didn't know what Gunther had said this week. Gunther said all this shit last week.
You know how Goldberg likes to hype himself up before he comes to the ring?
Yeah.
Like, normally he'll bang his head on the door or something.
Yeah.
I think they said he's not allowed to do that anymore because of risk of, like, concussions and stuff like that and head trauma. So he was doing donuts in the car park.
so he has to be Vin Diesel.
Yes. Right. Now he is fighting for family.
Oh, he is! Oh, shit! Look at him! All about family.
Seth and Becky's beach house gets robbed. I don't necessarily care. They're rich.
Yeah, they're rich. They're recovered. I put it up there because it was like, breaking news, this has happened. But, it's in my backyard of Los Angeles. It wasn't me, obviously. Because they said only cash was stolen. Because if it was me, I'm still in outfits, Manny. I'm still in outfits.
Yeah, some of Seth's clothes are worth a penny.
Yeah, some of Becky's clothes are worth a penny. I am stealing their clothes.
Now, this may be Marcus's best thumbnail because it's more of a game than anything. Who said that N-word? So I know who said it.
Oh, I thought it was obvious for everybody who said it recently.
But Marcus,
in the middle, isn't it?
I just want you to remind Terry Bollea would never say the N-word. Hulk Hogan, on the other fact, would.
Oh, big penis Hulk Hogan, as he liked to be described.
This is actually referring to a song Rikishi and Jacob Fatu are on where the N-word is said.
Oh, Rikishi's on there. I didn't even read. I didn't read that far into it.
Yeah, Rikishi's on there.
I can't wait for his podcast to justify this.
But you know, Nikita Lyon says that during sex.
Oh, I know she says it right. She's saying it right now. She's going, I think these niggas got me twisted. We'll be on this cover.
Welcome everyone to the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. I, of course, the racially ambiguous, very tired Lord Manny Hayes, and he is
also very tired, but not racially ambiguous. Marcus, the grand finale. I had nothing else. I couldn't think of anything.
Outside of Becky and Seth's house being robbed, there isn't really any other news other than like really shitty stories like Tyler Bates been benched. And NXT have booked the 2300 arena in Philadelphia a couple weeks ahead of AEW doing like I don't know if it's a 2-week stint or if it's like the ones where they stay there for like an entire month.
They said residency, so I'm assuming it's more than 2 weeks. But
because I know AEW have got a Chicago residency coming up as well.
Yeah, but I would like to look Triple H to the man in the mirror and say, what's the point of all this? What is the point of all this? It ain't working.
Because normally they do that thing where maybe it's just when they do the arena shows, they sign that contract where the arena isn't allowed to promote and they promote another wrestling show until 6 months is over. Yeah, which I think is why why the Wembley Arena show or the O2 show that's happening for the UK, the Forbidden Door, was so late to really start selling tickets and really start advertising that shit, because WWE did a live event at Wembley Arena, I believe.
Yeah. I just think this is just bad on WWE because if I have a choice to go between a WWE show and an AEW show, as much as I am a fan of WWE product at times, I would probably choose AEW over it due to, you know what, they're cheaper. I save money. Instead of paying for
Do you know
parking
what?
and going through all the bullshit to get just to go to a WWE event, fuck that.
I think it's more value for money too.
Yeah.
Yes, WWE will probably have the more of the names that you probably like. I would like, but AEW, the show is cheaper.
More bang
Way
for your buck.
longer. Yeah, way longer.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of how long it is, but
when you do all the costs, you get value for money. It's like, yes.
yeah. I better see John Moxley go drive through a fucking truck today, crash his truck today, and go to the windshield and bleed all over me. I want DNA when I leave this show.
Yeah.
WWE won't get that. You may get, Travis Scott.
Which apparently is a possibility for SummerSlam.
Oh, I hope so. I hate loose ends like this, man.
What if Cody really did sell his soul and Cody turns heel at SummerSlam and takes the title off Cena? Because Cena isn't ending this final run as a heel.
He might.
No,
I know.
There's a redemption arc. So eventually he's got to lose that title.
He's already showed signs of softening up when he didn't want to hit. Who did he fight last? CM Punk, and he shook his hand and all that.
CM Punk. He also had reservations when with R-Truth, if you recall.
Yeah,
they're still good in John.
They're still good at him. Unlike Darth Vader, I would try to find that good in Manifesting. He hasn't crossed Darth Vader lines of blowing up planets.
So basically what's happening is John is playing a bad guy. He isn't a bad guy.
No. He's just a bad man.
Like Randy wouldn't have second thoughts. Randy gives in to those matches.
No, that's Randy's mode right now. He's having second thoughts. In the last, 2 Randy matches, he's had second thoughts. Trust the first voice, Randy. Kill them all.
So do you just want to jump into Raw? There is nothing really else to talk about unless you've got a topic you want to cover.
No. Let's jump in.
Do you know what? Seth Rollins' music hits to really kick off Raw. And I was ready to stop watching and ready to give this whole segment a strike. If he started talking and then for nonsense, I would have been like, no.
I immediately, when he's coming out, he's going to talk, I was like, oh, what bullshit he's going to say this week. And I was just complaining. This is why the company's in the toilet, brother. I'm screaming like Hogan at my screen. And then when Breaker took the microphone, I said, ooh.
What's going on here?
Ooh, what's going on here? Oh, Braun Breaker. What he's going to say? Is he turning on Seth? He had enough of the bullshit? Because maybe he had enough of the bullshit.
He gets out there. He said he's standing there because Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins have a vision for him being the face of WWE for the next 2 decades. And he has a vision of WWE that is without Sami Zayn. He doesn't like him, and he doesn't like everything about him. Seth gets the mic back, but then gives it to Bronson Reed, Marcus. But Bronson Reed doesn't say much. He just said they had a vision, and they brought him there. And this vision is going to give him the respect he deserves.
Yeah, Manny. He's the redheaded stepchild of the group. Clearly, and Braun's their favorite baby boy. Like, Braun Breaker was promised everything. For the next 2 decades, you're going to run this place. You're going to be the best. You're going to be the greatest of all time. Everybody's going to love you. All the dogs are barking. You're going to have merchandise and movies and television. You're going to be everywhere. You're going to have people throwing their paint at you. You're going to have scandals on TMZ. And you're going to be back here on Raw. And then when you're going to get a limited schedule and you're going to come back to rousing ovation, everybody's going to love you. And then they go to Bronson Reed. Why haven't you killed Jey Uso? That's kind of how it went.
So Paul Heyman starts talking to Penta. So he starts speaking in Spanish, and this is what I got from it, Marcus. I got it word for word as he spoke in Spanish. He has Princess Leia imprisoned, as Paul Heyman speaking Spanish sounds like Jabba the Hutt.
What? Is this why he brought up the Empire Strikes Back? No, when the Empire
I think so,
Strikes
because
First?
him speaking Spanish, it sounded like Princess Leia was in trouble again.
Puka da puka solo. Anyway, although if they did, I was gonna say make a live action Star Wars. I mean, remake Star Wars. I'm casting Paul Heyman as Watto. I don't care. He's Andy. I need the money. I feel like he'd be a great Watto. I feel like
No,
that's his whole character.
No, I'm casting
You
MVP.
don't have to do the accent.
I'm casting MVP.
MVP is Watto.
You see how MVP attaches himself to Lashley.
No, my money.
Lashley is a cash cow until Lashley decides he's done.
I didn't realize MVP wanted to own slaves again. Bless you. Andy, my money. Oh, I lost everything.
Roberto,
That man
my
lost
money.
everything. He legit lost everything. Because Qui-Gon Jinn cheated. He cheated.
So Finn is in the back polishing all the titles. Roxanne has a memorial for Liv. Raquel takes offense and hopes Chiquita holds up her end in helping her defend the tag titles. AJ Styles gets Dom get well soon cake.
And hands like Dr. Snow. As much as I said they couldn't do it to AJ Styles and ask for his termination, this was pretty funny. I don't know why.
This is to clearly help Dom though.
Yeah. He still takes the cake though at the end.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
who
wouldn't take a cake?
No, I am not taking that cake. He seems like my enemy. I don't want him to give me mud butt or something.
If he gives me mud butt, just bag it up and send it to him. Oh yeah, AJ.
Oh man, that's depravity wrestling. No one knows but you, I guess. That's not what's going on. Someone poisoned my food. Well, revenge. Get to my favorite pastime. I want to shit in this bucket, and I'm going to put it in a bag, and then I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah. I'm gonna send it to Georgia.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. It's gonna say, "Hey,
Wendy." So Kairi Sane takes on Roxanne. Kairi gets the win. They try to get some on Kairi after the match, but Asuka makes a save. Asuka looks like a badass auntie.
Yeah. Just came out there and just whooped ass and hit people with her butt and derriere.
In her leather coat, looking
Yeah.
cool and shit.
They gave these women 20 minutes. I was shocked how much time they gave this match. They got like 2 commercial breaks.
You know, they gave them too much time that they could have actually made this 10 minutes and give them put on another women's match.
That's true. Or they could have had Rhea and Io actually there to promote their match, but
No,
they couldn't be bothered to show up tonight. They couldn't be bothered to show up. Rhea's too big of a star to show up to Raws anymore. To every Raw. Raw?
I mean, it was in Providence.
Like, yeah, I'm not going there. Buddy has a cold. I'm going to stay home.
The Kabuki Warriors are added to the Fatal 4-Way to represent Raw.
They didn't have to do anything to get there, though.
No. Well, they just had to have beef with the Judgment Day. So I've had beef with the Judgment Day for every time they said that. Every time they said they run Monday Night Raw. So technically, on those kind of notes, I should get an IC title match.
Yeah, and then here's the issue I have with the Judgment Day saying they run Monday Night Raw. When they were saying it, they didn't run shit. Now they have every title and they never bring it up.
But they don't get mic time anymore. They never speak in the ring.
No, they're always in the back playing darts now because they don't have a PlayStation 5 anymore.
Where are we? Sami has got a lot on his plate. He has to put aside his beef with Karrion Kross because he has to focus on Braun Breaker. Scarlett appears, says nothing.
But appears, man.
Appears. Sami Zayn takes on Braun Breaker. Karrion attacks Sami on the way to the ring and takes him out with the pipe.
Son of a bitch. That's my reaction. Why?
Marcus, I feel I haven't really used this camera much since I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I'm going to go on a little trip to the hardware store and look for said pipes.
Yeah. And then, Manny, you can take out the ribs of all your enemies.
I'm going to look for weapons at the hardware store.
Where do you guys keep your lead pipes?
I already got a chair.
Your tables. Manny's building his own wrestling company. It's expensive.
So I bought this humongous fan the other day, and I sent a picture of it to my friend, and they responded, "Why do you have a wrestling chair on hand?" I'm like, "It's actually just a chair, but not a wrestling chair." But the real question is, why don't you have a wrestling chair on hand? Home defense is important.
Yeah, you never know. You never know when someone come in. You can get the old equalizer. I like the color blue. I get the color blue, and I do headshots.
If anything, I'm using it as a shield.
So, if you were to get a wrestling weapon in your home, Manny, what would it be? Would it
Any
be the chair?
any weapon to use would be something that it doesn't create any wind resistance and is easy to swing. So anything like a bat, crowbar, pipe, 2x4. 2x4 maybe a little bit too heavy.
2x4 making you splinters.
Yeah, a baseball bat, not a cricket bat. Cricket bats are really heavy and wide. You will hurt people more with the surface area. Much like maybe a tennis racket, because that's got wind resistance and you can really
Jim Cornette. You're Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette had it wrapped up in its case.
Yeah, but you saved it for a moment when he didn't have to wrap it up. Don't let him unwrap that shit.
But yeah, anything that you could swing, I think is a good shout.
So moppy.
Yeah, what would you use?
Huh? Oh, barbed wire baseball bat. Just so they know I'm crazy.
First, you
didn't realize you broke into the house of Cactus Jack, did you?
First, you have to kind of cut yourself to make sure you're really crazy. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I blade. That take the arrested blades. This is how I go to sleep at night, just to make sure if anybody broke in at night. Oh shit! I broke into the house of Cactus Jack and Terry.
And then Marcus would have a referee, and because there's blood present, they'd have to put the black gloves on before they did anything.
You're gonna be checking on people. I'm checking on them.
Sami is in the ring demanding he can continue the match to Adam Pearce, and then eats 3 spears and loses the match. The third, they were all out of time. They were all kind of, in my mind, they were all should have been done in a different order.
Which order are your spears?
The spear off the middle rope should have been the last one. That was the more devastating.
But how do you get to But how do you get to that one without the other ones? Like, how would you go? How do you start with? Are you trying to end? How do you end with that one after you hit them with the other two?
So I don't think I think the first two. So I think the one that had the last one, you spear him, and then Sami gets out of the ring. So Braun goes, I know, I'm going to spear the fuck out of him.
Yeah, he got the little run.
It takes ages to get him in the ring. Sami kicks out, has a little flurry, thinks he can go to the top rope, thinks he can go to the ropes, and then gets hit with the spear. End off.
Yeah. End of match.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he killed him. Yeah,
he murdered him, and then they learned that he's out indefinitely in the back.
Yeah, and I am disappointed. If you're going to be out indefinitely, I need to see blood. I need to see Kenny Omega spit up that blood like he did on Dynamite. No. I need to return to that. I need Sami to do the same thing, because that's all I was thinking. I was like, oh, this much abdominal damage should have caused you to spit up blood like Kenny Omega.
Do you know, the more I think about that, it's very actually like impossible to happen.
Yeah, you did. What could have happened that exploded? What, an appendix exploded? What could he have done?
You don't spit out blood if you get punched that hard, surely.
No. What did he do to make you go? You fucking Muda mist everywhere with that blood. You're dead.
Nikki Bella has a video package about her entering the Battle Royal. Alimony's costing a little too much, isn't it, Nikki Bella?
You lost your single match with Liv, didn't you? Now you got into a battle royal.
The War Raiders want to remain in the running for the tag titles, and the New Day are dressed in black as they are mourning for their tag team title loss. Kofi says Adam Pearce is an accomplice because he helped the Judgment Day kill the tag division when he gave them a shot at the tag team titles.
Yeah, man,
Not that they were holding the tag team titles hostage for several months.
Yeah. Man, you gotta remember that they were in mourning of the death of the tag wrestling that they have to resurrect once again. I enjoyed the outfits. I enjoyed everything they were doing. This was entertaining.
The War Raiders say that they need to go to the back of the line based on what they said prior. Becky Lynch agrees with the New Day, says Big E was a scumbag.
Yeah, he's a scumbag. I never liked him. That was funny. You know what? There's not enough heel-on-heel interactions of just being horrible people. Shit like this should happen all the time on the show.
Yep. Becky Lynch gets in the ring. Doesn't understand how two people who lost to each other last week get a title match, where statistically she is at a loss. She beat both of them, so she deserves, like Io, to pick her opponent. She believes Bayley and Lyra are in cahoots. Bayley comes out, and then Lyra comes out. Lyra thinks it's time she took her title back. Bayley says she don't need any more friends. Becky says it's good Bayley not trying so hard anymore because Lyra dropped her like a hot potato at WrestleMania.
Racially charged segment for Irish and potatoes. I'm just saying.
Becky continues to stir the pot. Lyra says things. Lyra
was horrible. That's what she was saying. Everything she said just sounded unbelievable and not like nonsense. And Becky and Bayley brought it home and understanding what's kind of going on here. But the main thing is you raise her hand like a bitch.
A little bitch.
Yeah, a little bitch. What the fuck? It was a stipulation. What do you want me to do?
I don't get recently. You can call someone a bitch, Marcus, and it's not as offensive as going, you know what, you're a little bitch. You call someone a little bitch, it seems way more offensive these days.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Because now you're just saying I'm a little squeaky ass dog. Now you're saying I'm squeaky. Now you're saying I don't do something. Now you're saying that I have capped my potential of any type of growth in this universe. Not talking about height. I'm talking about mindset and mentality. You have capped me right here and said I'm a little dog. I'm a little bitch. I am not standing for that. I am going to my lawyer and I am suing your ass like a little bitch.
And then this kind of ends in a brawl with Lyra standing tall over both Bayley and Becky.
Yeah, Becky winning, right? It's not Lyra ain't winning.
I don't see many titles changing. The women, Rhea May beat Io, and I think that might be the only title change. Actually, possibly Jordan winning the NXT title.
You know, JC's beatable, so
she is the most beatable champion around
in the history of wrestling. JCJ, the most beatable champion.
Actually, the most beatable champion ever was that. What was his name? He was a North American champion. He was a North American champion for like 2 weeks.
Well, you're gonna have to be
Leon Ruff.
Oh yeah, but I think JC got him.
Leon Ruff was the most beatable champion because when he put that belt around him, it fell off around his waist. It went straight down. Yeah. That's why he's the most beatable champion. And I don't even have to wait to hold the championship.
You know what the sad part is? I believe that was the end of Adam Cole right there. I think that was Adam Cole.
No. The end of Adam Cole.
I think that was the end of Adam Cole.
Do you know what the end of Adam Cole was? When Keith Lee pounced him into the crowd. I don't think he's ever been the same since.
That's true. We only lived in a world where he managed Keith Lee.
Because that was funny, like do.
Wow! It was like in Smash Brothers where you hit somebody with like 200% life or whatever. Yeah. Pow!
And there's no type of like flipping your way back.
Yeah, you can't flip back. You're just spinning in the distance and you see him. You're like, oh. Spawn back up at AEW. Boom.
So Jey Uso takes on Bronson Reed. I didn't know till today that Paul Heyman is now known as the Oracle.
I didn't know that either. When
I
did that
thought it was
happen?
I thought it was the old lady in the Matrix.
See, I go even older back. I thought it was the little black dude in He-Man. That's not even a racial thing. He was the little black dude with a red hat.
Wasn't the original Oracle old light skinned black lady
From He-Man?
Matrix? Oh, Matrix.
Yeah, it was an old light skinned black lady. Yes.
Yeah. So timelines.
Yeah. Shit, the Matrix is canon in He-Man. He-Man is the real reality.
I don't know if Paul Heyman's tan is trying to follow that lineage.
I don't know who's blacker, him or Breaker. You can't tell, or who had darkest skin, him, Breaker, or Reed. I think Bronson Reed is naturally dark. I don't know if that's tan, but it seems like he's a darker individual.
No. See, this is my stand now. After what Kevin Owens said, you are not allowed to be darker than the lightest skinned person of lightest melanin person. You are not allowed to be darker than them.
Should be a fact. Should be law. Let's put that into law.
Like if you are not allowed to be darker than the lightest colored person in your office or your friendship group or whatever,
So
you
Manny,
are not allowed to be darker than them.
Are you the measuring stick for tans? You walk in and
No.
go, you gotta get this guy out of here.
No, because
Your personal color.
I would consider myself quite light, but I know there's people lighter than me.
Yeah.
And
So
also, I go golden in the summer.
Yeah, they think I would like to think that people think you're white with a spray on tan every time.
I think when it comes to it, because I end up more darker. Like if you look at my inside arm, you would think I am white.
So out, Manny.
But you don't. When you look at that arm, because the tattoo ink has kind of darkened it.
Yeah. Manny, I believe if you ever get your millions of dollars, you're gonna be as white as the background of my wall right here. Like he's always white now.
Marcus, I would be so white.
What is the whitest thing you'd do if you got money?
Commit a crime.
Get someone else of color arrested.
Talk shit to the police and not worry about it.
Well, Mr. Officer, I have rights and a lot of money. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
Wouldn't you?
Oh, I'm playing the Do you know who I am card. And be like, y'all done fucked up now. You, give me your badge numbers. Y'all done fucked up. Y'all arrested money. Y'all arrested money. That's what you're doing. You're arrested money. I'm going to have all y'all badges. Y'all going to be the ones in jail, not me.
Bronson Reed gets DQ'd by throwing a desk chair at Jey Uso and then delivers 2 tsunamis to Jey.
On the scale of desk chairs tosses, is he better or worse than Braun Strowman? I think he's.
You don't get any better than Braun Strowman throwing it at Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
because he launched that shit.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great launches of all time. The greatest launch of anything being thrown is John Cena, I think, throwing the stairs at Bray Wyatt, which I was like, hey, that's just me. He threw it at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, I don't really remember that as vividly, but
the Fiend or the Bray Wyatt getting the chair thrown at him by Cena?
Come on, Marcus, man. You expect me to remember anything Bray Wyatt did?
Jesus. Thought you remember that.
No.
It's a prominent moment in their feud.
But him launching that chair at Roman,
yeah,
he threw it from far.
Yeah. The main thing I'm going to remember about that is that me and Ryan, and this is been brought up on the show multiple times, we tested out who could throw the chair the furthest. We didn't actually have a chair, but we grabbed a case of water, threw it across the room, and tried to match the velocity of Braun Strowman.
A case of
it
water.
Over the couch. A case of water, Manny. A case of water.
I believe that's
32 pack from Costco.
I believe that's heavier than a desk chair.
It may have been, but we wanted to see the velocity, and we both couldn't get.
You ain't as strong as Braun Strowman, neither of you.
The point is that throwing the chair was effective. It was effective. Ryan said it wasn't effective. I said it was, and then he said throwing the chair isn't that hard. I was like, oh yeah, try to throw this case of water. So we started throwing water across the apartment. We were doing science, sports science, right there. Rest in peace, Brinkus. That was sports science.
How ridiculous both of you are.
And then when we were moving out, you can still find water bottles under where the couch were. It's a good time. Good use of sports science. Sports science, people.
El Grande Americano took on Dragon Lee.
He back.
That was a really good match.
Yeah, he back. But I don't know who's the better El Grande Americano at this point.
I like that you all have different styles.
Yes. He's a master stuff. What do you mean, Dave? Man, it's only one. It's only one. This is a sick car situation. Hunico. This is a 100%. Didn't Hunico win that feud, by the way?
I can't even remember.
But this was a good match, and nice to see Ludwig Kaiser back. But he's a pretty good Grande Americano, and we went to the top ropes and did dives. I was like, oh, look at him!
I was like, I didn't know you had that in you.
Yeah, I thought Ludwig. I thought you were on the ground.
I thought you were a ground man. Gunther comes out, says he's been verbally abusing Bill Goldberg for 2 weeks, and he has done nothing about it. Thus, Bill Goldberg is afraid. Goldberg pulls up. Well, skids up.
Skids up, drunk, putting lives in jeopardy, including his own.
Walks into the ring, visibly sweating from a brisk walk to the ring. Goldberg drops Gunther, but avoids a spear.
Yeah, he gave him the one hit a quitter. Gunther walked away, cowered away, and
you know why you didn't get the spear, Marcus?
Because you got to pay for it.
No, but that would have been a whole match. That would have been a full Goldberg match.
Yeah, and then to be honest, didn't we get enough spears from Breaker at this point in the night? Didn't we get enough?
Fourth spear of the night.
This man's running at 23 miles per hour allegedly. I don't got time to see an old man.
I don't need to see a slow motion spear.
Yeah, I've already seen it in real time. I want to see a slow motion. I'll slow Breaker down.
I don't want to see an old man fall down gracefully.
He ain't getting up, guys. He ain't getting up. The old man problems. I hope Gunther kick his ass, though. Do you got him winning? You got Swerve and him winning?
If they do, no. Actually, I've got Seth probably trying to cash in on Saturday night's main event.
And that's how they protect Goldberg?
Either that's how you protect Goldberg or that's how you lose the title.
So you have title changes Saturday night main event.
Yeah, but
as it's going against All In, they take all the publicity away by doing a title change.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to pull off some shit like that, but the real title change should be Hangman defeating Mox. But if it goes on again, where it goes on for another month, I'm going to crash out on the stream.
I never want to see that briefcase again. I mean, that title again. I want the briefcase only.
At least put some straps on the briefcase and wear it around your waist.
It's one of those scenarios where the title was inside you all along. But I don't know. If I were to predict title changes, Hangman wins, Goldberg wins, Jordan Grace wins, and the tag team titles go to, I don't know, Zoruka or something.
No, I think Rhea's gonna win because they keep hyping up she's never beat Io.
Yeah,
I feel like you should do that.
Io deserves one last appearance as champion just to get in a footnote. She wasn't even on TV this week.
I feel like Io should lose the title at SummerSlam. I don't think she should lose it at Evolution. I think she needs to have a proper last defense in front of a bigger crowd because I've seen that Evolution. Actually, I've seen wrestle. I think it was a story the other day. I don't know if it's true now, but AEW All In has outsold all three of the events WWE have got going on that weekend.
Yeah, but I would say that's an obvious thing, you know? Like, I didn't think that was like
shocking. No, but you would have thought WWE would have sold out the arenas they were doing in. The ticket sales look bad.
Well, Saturday Night Main Event sold over 10,000. That's pretty much the max of what that building can hold. NXT, I forget, it was some low number,
4,000, something like that.
And then Evolution was probably lower than that. I can't remember, but it's been poor build for both of them. Poor build. That's the blame. All In has been advertising for over a year for the show.
Yeah, but it's only really coming together like the last 3 weeks.
No, it's been about
maybe
2
last
months.
2 weeks.
2 months. I think they've been building toward it since the start of the year. I feel like that we knew where things were going by somewhere in the start of the year, maybe March. But it's just what it is. It's 19. They got 19,000 in a 40,000 stadium. I don't ever feel like that's a good number. I just feel like I'd rather just do a smaller venue and get to 20,000 and say we're sold out.
They shouldn't really be doing massive venues.
Yeah. I don't. It's a good accomplishment. It's their highest gate and attendance thing ever. But again, I think there would be if a smaller stadium, if they wanted to do a stadium show, would have benefited them. I always feel that's a better look than saying, "Oh yeah, this place holds 50 to 40,000 for a baseball game." But for wrestling, we kind of just got 19. And then if you add up all the WWE shows, they kind of beat it in attendance. Yeah, but it's like it's still like it's an accomplishment, but I'd rather do a smaller arena.
And then the main event was Seth Rollins versus Penta. Marcus, I found it really odd. This main event. The ring announcer, I can't remember her name.
Okay.
Penta comes to the ring. His weight is announced in kilograms.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins was announced in pounds.
Yeah.
That is weird as hell.
Why is that weird?
Why are you using 2 units of measurement?
Well, they were using stones for the Highlanders.
Yeah. When was the last time the Highlanders
that's not the question at hand, man.
Why are you bringing up Robbie?
Don't pivot to a different topic of where they are. I'm just saying that it has been done.
But why is that even a thing?
I don't know. Just to say they're from a different country? I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Well, then I want to be measured in water and in liquids.
Okay. Maybe you're 17 cups of water. I don't know. No, you're 70 cups of water. I don't know how many. Depending on the measuring of the cups.
Seth accidentally lows blow Penta and hits the stomp for the win. They try to take out Penta in an organized hit, but LA Knight gets a jump on Seth Rollins and hits the beat blunt force trauma and then escapes.
Yeah.
That's the end of Raw.
I thought the Penta and Seth match was a solid match. I am going to also declare this. Penta and the Beast Mortos are in the exact same position at this current moment. It's the exact same position.
No.
Yes.
No, they're not.
They are.
No, they're not, because no one is pandering for Penta to be in the position he's in, much like the position the Beast Mortos is put in, because his girlfriend is Mercedes Money.
Yeah. Yes, he's had a little political help. But I believe as wrestlers, man to man, they're in the same spot as it stands.
Yeah, but Penta's not funded by nepotism.
Yeah, but he's elevated. He's elevated because of AEW status. I don't know what I'm trying to get with this. The point is, they're in the exact same spot, and I don't know who's going to win out. I feel like the Beast Mortals had all this creative control. He could be TNT champion by tomorrow.
No one would accept him as TNT champion.
I would, because who's the TNT champion right now? It took you way too long to think about that.
Boom.
Yeah, way too long. I'm sure Danny Garcia popped in your head first.
No, Marcus, it's harder because AEW have more belts.
You can argue they have the same amount. Now that they add the North American Intercontinental Women's title and tag titles and King of the Ring helmets and trophies.
I'm sure they'll be Evolve Tag Team Champions soon.
Yeah. Evolve Tag Team Champions, Evolve Intercontinental Champions. Oh, no, North American Champion probably. Just all this bullshit. In the belts. In all the belts.
That was the end of Raw. It was actually a decent episode of Raw.
It was decent. It moved along.
Better than SmackDown.
Well, SmackDown was taped on the 4th of July. I'm not going to judge them on that one. I would have phoned that one in too. I would have tried. I wouldn't have gave a damn. No one's watching this.
They could have tried.
I would have. You're lucky I wasn't in charge of the episode, man. It would have been me telling wrestlers what we're going to do tonight. We're going to light fireworks. We're not going to do anything else. That's what they would have got. You get to see Penta go, ooh, and Ray Fiends go, ah, and Cody going, hold on, this is mine.
But yeah, so that was today's episode. There is nothing else really to talk about.
No, not really. You know, if Cody was here, he'd be like, so you want to talk about, but he's not around. So to be clear, it was did we ever clarify it was Jacob Fatu that was rapping and said the N-word and stuff? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. That was just a loose end. That was who.
Yeah, and I can't wait for the follow-up video on was it New World Wrestling Order?
Yeah.
New Wrestling World Order YouTube channel. I don't know why we're promoting it. It's not like he needs the help.
No, he doesn't. But you know what? It's still entertaining as hell. Oh, his latest post, as Manny described, is that he ain't playing that shit with Tiffany Stratton.
No, that was I told you that on the pre-show. Marcus came in and my dog was sitting on my lap, and then in my ear was playing Tiffany Stratton, watch your white motherfucking mouth, bitch.
That's the title of an episode.
That's the title of this video.
We're going to have to go down that route. Look at us. It's shambles. There's nothing even going on in the chat. We're in shambles.
JLG, I really like how Penta is getting the burn he should have had in AEW. How long before he's a legit mid-card contender? I mean, he's embedded in the mid-card now.
Yeah. I don't see him leaving that mid-card spot that he's in. Like, he's upper mid-card. He's basically Mexican Shinsuke Nakamura at this point.
No, Shinsuke, I would say Shinsuke is lower mid-card.
Well, you know, Shinsuke was elevated at one point where he was like, ooh, it's Shinsuke!
Yeah, now he's back down in that lower mid-card where you may even consider him a jobber at this moment in time.
Oh, no, I consider him a jobber. I don't care what his music says or entrance.
What is this? Good morning, evening. May Hulk Hogan get cyst under his arm. Oh!
No.
Goldberg needs to follow Scar advice and wants to be... What?
Wait, he needs to follow Scar's advice from the Lion King? And work wants to be extreme. His work is a separate thing. I don't know what Scar's advice is, but this is a separate thing with the comma. And work wants to be extremely difficult today. It's a separate statement.
Oh, work wants to be on extreme difficulty today.
Yeah.
You know, some of you need J.K. Smush. Better grammar needs to be used on this one.
Yeah, I think the Goldberg fall Scar. We want him to be prepared. I don't know what he wanted to do. You get fat and lazy and eat all the food and fuck your brother's wife now that you're dead. Scar is crazy.
If Braun wasn't a Steiner, would anyone care about him? Yeah, he's so athletic.
He's so athletic. The Spear is a must talk about thing, and
he's more of a genetic freak than his uncle is.
Yeah. So I think Braun would be talked about, but you know, you get a little help from your friends.
Run away and never come. Oh, is that Scar's advice?
Oh, run away and never come back. Told that to Simba. Told this to the kid. He could have just killed him, man. Fucking savage. Scar was a savage. When you think about how dirty Scar was, he might be the greatest villain of all time. I'm talking about evil. I'm gonna make up a word. Atrocities.
No, Jafar was quite
evil
mean.
Atrocities. And Jafar was a fool and just wanted to be. And I can defend Jafar, Manny. In the case of Jafar, was the Sultan not an imbecile? An imbecile.
Yeah.
And then someone needs to take over that had control. You can't just this whole monarchy of just passing it down to people to admit his misogyny to only a prince could. There's a lot of stuff going on there that If I'm Scar, I don't like any of this. And I am campaigning to take the power because this Aqaba is going to hell. Okay? We need to build a wall.
Okay. I take away Jafar and I raise you Ursula.
Now, Ursula is just a fat, jealous bitch. And you can also justify this. The Little Mermaid, self-hate. That's all it was. Self-hate. You were a fish. You didn't have to be a woman. You didn't have to have toes. You didn't have. What are you gonna do up there? You gonna go Lone John Silver's or Red Lobster? You can't. You can't. You're a fish. Stay in the ocean. And I bet you that's the first thing. I don't remember her the man she found. I can't remember his name. I'm just gonna say it's John or something. But it probably was. But I think the first night he ended up with the Little Mermaid, he was like, "Bitch, you smell like fish. Can't do that here.
You smell like the water.
Oh, it smells horrible.
I was trying to get away from the sea.
You're worse than my last scallywag." I felt like using boat terms right there. All right. I know he wasn't a pirate, but I think he was.
Yeah. Should we end it here?
Yes, why not? Why not end on Little Mermaid? She's beautiful, man. Why did you marry her, man? She smelled like fish. It was disgusting. I was like, the woman take a bath, and it just wouldn't come off. Just smelled like the ocean.
So like the video, subscribe if you haven't. I've been Lord Manny Hayes. He's been
the racially ambiguous Marcus the Grand Finale.
And remember, one of these three said the N-word.
And I bet you one of them said it with the hard R. It's definitely the one on the left. The other two, GGAs. Nikita Lyons has respect. Who's in this shit?
You know, you're the one that's going to get in us trouble one day. I'm just pointing it out there. I say some stupid shit, but then you do things like that.